Hey everyone, Ben Friedman here, and today we are going to look at a little deck that I've been brewing up for Legacy. Some call it Sultai Shardless Sultai. I prefer to call it Sultai Garbage, but Sultai Snapcaster maybe. I bet they'll probably make that the official name on the video. But all that aside, we got a Sultai garbage deck, just a pile of fun Sultai cards, and I started brewing this deck because I thought that with the invention of Fatal Push, or with the printing of Fatal Push more accurately, it would be reasonable to try and go back to the Esper Stoneblade type shell that I had always loved, but with Fatal Push instead of Swords to Plowshares. And what I mean when I say the Esper Stoneblade shell is the goal of this deck is to always be perfectly set up for whatever deck in the format post-sideboard. Pre-sideboard, you have a nice healthy mix of value cards and cheap removal, interaction, counter magic. But I wanted to set up this deck so that it would have maximum access to its sideboard. So through Snapcaster Mage, Thought Scour, Liliana, The Last Hope, Painful Truce, things like that, you gain access to a lot of your deck, especially in concert with all of your cantrips in Brainstorm and Ponder. And so this affords us the opportunity to play a few spicy one-ofs, just see what happens. And I've played this deck to some success. I've played it in 3 leagues so far, and I've gone 4-1 in one of them, 3-2 in another, and 2-3 in another. And so we're going to fire up a fresh league, and we're going to go for that elusive 5-0. I am playing on my friend's account, actually, while he is busy being president. So we'll all get a good laugh at that. And let's take a quick look at the list as I have currently set it up. We've got 1 Bayou, 1 Island, 9 fetch lands, Misty, Polluted Delta, and Verdant Catacombs. We got our 1 Island and 1 Swamp. Those are our basics to fetch, because I hate the fact that sometimes you get Blood Mooned out or Wasteland locked out of the games with my mid-range Delver decks, so I don't want that to happen anymore. We have 3 copies of Tropical Island. There they are. And we have 3 Underground Sea and 3 Wasteland. Wasteland as a 3-of indicates in decks that you would like access to the card. And what deck wouldn't like access to the card? It's very, very powerful. But you don't really want to be drawing 2 or 3 copies of it in every game, compared to the Delver decks that just love drawing Wastelands in order to keep the game a low resource game. This deck is using them more as tactical tools against combo decks, or to buy time against miracles, just to hassle them a little bit without trying to overload the opponent with Wastelands and tempo plays, because this deck is very, very capable of going long. So let's take a look at some of the actual spells. We got 4 Brainstorm, 2 Ponder, and the reason we only have 2 Ponder is because we're also playing 2 Thought Scour, and we got our 1 Spell Snare in here. We've got 3 Fatal Push, and 4 Deathrite Shaman, and 3 Abrupt Decay, so we have 6 main deck good removal spells, 2 main deck Baleful Strix, and 1 Marsh Casualties. The reason for the 1 Marsh Casualties is it is a good out to opposing True Name Nemesis. It's also a nice one against opposing Young Pyromancers. And it's even decent against decks like Shardless Bug, where you can sweep their board pretty regularly with the card. And it's a lot better than Golgari Charm, because I'm playing my own Snapcaster Mages, of course. And it's very, very good against Elves and Death and Taxes as well, which is nice. We got 1 main deck Counterspell, 2 main deck Leovolds, and 1 Liliana the Last Hope, as well as 1 Liliana of the Veil. Liliana of the Veil's actually been pretty unimpressive, so in the future I may switch it up and play 2 main deck Liliana the Last Hope, but having access to an Edict effect is sometimes useful. 1 main deck Painful Truce, 4 Force of Will, and 3 Gurmag Angler. And the reason for Gurmag Angler is Tarmogoyf is just horrendous right now. It is a shamefully bad card in a format with Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay being so common. So I would like to play the big fish, which is sometimes 1 mana. It is frequently bigger than the average Tarmogoyf, and it is not vulnerable to Fatal Push or Abrupt Decay. I enjoy all aspects of the card. We have 1 Counterspell in the sideboard and 1 Invasive Surgery, as well as 6 discard spells, 1 Duress, and 4 Thoughtseize. We got 3 Surgical Extractions, lands, Reanimator, Dredge, 1 Pithing Needle. It's good against miracles and lands, and it's decent against any number of random decks like Death and Taxes or Merfolk or whatever. We've got 2 Diabolic Edicts. That's for Marit Lage and True Name Nemesis, as well as being a serviceable removal spell against decks like Eldrazi. We got a 2nd Marsh Casualties in the sideboard for True Name Nemesis decks, Young Pyromancer decks, Death and Taxes, and Elves, and another Liliana, the Last Hope. It's good against... Man, it's just a sweet Magic card, you know? You get to rebuy your Snapcaster Mages. Who needs Kolaghan's Command? We don't even need to splash red anymore for Lightning Bolt and K Command because we got Liliana, the Last Hope. So that's the deck, and we'll be back and ready to battle very shortly.